better. Okay. Right, I've got my coffee. Let's just get this pushback sorted out first. Pre-plan.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Let's get the line on it fast. Okay, reference airport is Gatwick. PA 531. Runway 08 right. Take off 15 flaps. V1 is 140. V2 145. 150. Right, just check out the SIDS from the sim brief. Hopefully it's in it. Yes, it is. Okay. Ah. That's not look quite shortly not. Ah, I haven't got the whole lot. You've got the first page. Hmm. Why is that? What do you put in this first page? I need my flight plan. I should have checked that before I put this in. It was a PDF file, and I put it into the into this tablet unorthodoxly. It was I should have done it manually. For some reason, I've only got the first page. Okay, I'm going to do it manually. See how we go. Arrivals. Now we want no, we don't. 26 right. Which is not there. No, sorry. 08 right. Okay. Right, okay. go back. Flow 1000. That would get up to 5,000. Let's go down to the next leg. 5,000 to 10,000. And then we're making our descent. Get back down to 5,000. Okay. Check our legs again. Actually, I've done this wrong. No. $39 miles there. It goes down to okay. V1 is 140. Okay, let's just request a pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Thank you.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect. So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by. Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, ready to go. Thank you. Okay, our departure is runway 08R. It's some distance from here. I just saw two easy jets, so we might be okay, but you might have to wait a little bit for them to take off because we're going to be behind them. But they may have taken off before we get there. Well, the weather conditions isn't good. because I think that this low cover dense cloud is throughout Europe, because I know that that Berlin is in the same condition weather-wise. But I'll be climbing up to 10 to 15,000 feet, so we'll get above all of that on most of our flight there until we descend to Berlin. I think approximately 2 hours 20 minutes is the ferry time. I've only flown to this airport once, and it's on a par to I flew from Melbourne to Sydney and Brisbane once, and they were my longest flights I flew. There's a Norwegian flight there. We've got Ryanair to our right and 2 EasyJets. Wait, just get out of the way from this. Right in my way. Hopefully he's going to turn left. I don't think he is. But that's not good. If I sneak past him quickly, he's not going to stop because I haven't set it up so for him to stop. I haven't gone through air traffic control as yet. I haven't got there yet, but I will master that in due course. Well, I'll take it I've gone past without any incident. I think those 2 EasyJets in front of us, I know that one of them will be at least going on the same runway as ourselves, and there's the 26 right as well, so they can actually take off in tandem. We've got, if you look there in the distance, we've got one coming in final. You can see his lights coming down, see his lights there. So he'll be landing on 26 right. Oh no, sorry, a 08 left. No, it's been asked to fly over. Hasn't landed at all. It's flying over. Probably been rerouted to go around. Just stay here for a sec. I'm sure this one in front of us is going to use the 08 Right. It's the same one that we're using. Yeah, it's quite a fast touch and go. You find that in Gatwick. Gatwick is a very busy airport, and there isn't much time to hang about. You're pretty much on the runway at Gatwick. You're pretty much out of there. But I'm going to hang about just a little bit. Get out of the way. Look, I haven't gone through air traffic control, but I will get there eventually, and to go through the right process for request for takeoff. So at the moment I'm just trying to do the right protocol and making sure everything's safe from a visual point of view. Okay, flaps 15. Right, brakes off. So okay, we'll be climbing at 5,100 at the moment, and so we get ourselves on course. Just look at the map. There we go. See, we just left Gatwick and we're heading towards easterly. This is London here, heading out on the east coast. Well, we should be coming out of this cloud cover soon. It's quite thick. I think I might just get it set at the. I might get up to 15,000. I think. So we're actually we'll cruise at 15,000. Yeah, you can see we're coming out of it now. Or maybe not. Gee, that is thick. Actually, when we get up to about 15,000, I might set my. I've got this this weather system that. Well, the last time I used it on this new patch, it didn't work. The clouds was coming through the cockpit, the flight deck. So I might give it a go, and I've got a bit of time, so I might try to tweak it to make it see if it can work on some minimal settings. But the default looks great. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the default. It's just that when you get yourself a payware weather, it's worth it. It's really worth it. More realistic looking. There we go. We're coming up now. But I think we're going to find that the weather's going to be like this all the way. A lot of dense cloud cover all over Europe, it seems, which is unusual. It's not unusual, not unusual this time of year, I guess. Just look at the map, find out where we are. Okay, we're just on the east coast. Okay, just coming out on the east coast now. What's here? We've got Ipswich around here. Okay, looking good. So yeah, I've set it up to about 15,000 feet. We'll be spending most of our ferry at that altitude. And then we'll be dropping down as we get to Tegel, dropping down to 5,000. What I'll be doing, I will set my my payware weather. It just wasn't working properly with the new patch. The clouds were coming through the cockpit, the flight deck, and so I'm hoping that with another update that comes out very shortly, hopefully, that they would fix that. Currently running on the default cloud weather, which is nothing wrong with it at all. It's quite good actually, but the weather I've got, it's so much better. It just wasn't working properly. Okay, we've got the time here. We're currently at coming up to 5:30, and we've been basically our flight 28 minutes. We started our flight. So yeah, it's going to be pretty dark, I think, by the time we get to Berlin. We're in 2 hours. About 7:30, I think we get to Berlin. Okay, we'll check this. We'll see if this works now. It's not too bad, actually. Check out the settings. Put it on wheel mode. Cloud settings on optional, and the sound settings optional. Let's see how that goes. So you can see there's a big difference in the cloud cover compared to the default. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this because when I had this on before, the clouds were actually coming through the flight deck and on the ceiling. But mind you, that was in VR. I've only just started flying on my monitor, just for the streaming. Just going to crank the speed up. Okay, it's just thought we'd just go a little bit, pick the speed up a little bit. Currently been flying for 31 minutes. Just come up to 5:30, and we're just out from the east coast of England. Yeah. Just leaving there as well, just leaving it now. Cool. Really thick cloud cover. I haven't seen this before. It's really thick. We haven't climbed above it yet. What we're up to 6,500, and we're still in the thick cloud cover. We're just coming out of it now, actually. But I looked at the weather charts, and it's going to be pretty much like this all the way to Berlin. Looks like Europe, it's got a lot of dense cloud cover throughout Europe, which I suppose this time of year it's normal, I guess. Well, my weather engine, my payware weather engine, is working okay now. the last time I used it on this new Xplane 11 update, the clouds were actually coming through the cockpit. So I turned it off and I was using the default weather. But for some unknown reason, it's not doing it now. But mind you, it was on. I was using it with VR. I normally fly in VR, but it doesn't do any justice for the viewing prospect. If I'm streaming, I benefit from it, but I don't think whoever would be watching this stream would really benefit if they actually saw the VR aspects of my flight. So I'm getting used to actually flying on the on my monitor, which is not the same, but I need to get used to that. Okay, I'm just going to tell everyone that we're going to level off. I'll do a level off speech even though we're not, but just doing it for the purpose that it's there. I'm flying the 737-800 by Zebo. It's a freeware, and I've got a lot of payware flight frames, and I'm enjoying this an awful lot. It gets updated very recently. It's got a checklist. That it's a very nice feature actually. So that's all there in front of you. Putting it back is another story. I always have a problem putting it back. I don't in VR, but like this I do. For some reason it doesn't go back properly, or I don't know how to pull it back properly. I just don't know how to put it back. I can get it out, but I can't put it back. But yeah, that's a great feature. I like that. This tablet is great. You can set your FMC via SimBrief, and all the SimBrief, the PDF file, will be in your charts. So you can go into the in your SimBrief file. You can actually read on your tablet like that, which sets all your fuel and your flight plan that you can punch into your FMC, and that's a great feature. I like that. It's taken a long time for that feature to come out, really, and I mean, what they've done to this 737 is amazing. Having a lot of fun with it, and it's free, believe it or not. It's great. There's a checklist there. All your checklists you can tick off. I haven't done this on this flight. I need to be more disciplined to go through all these procedures. I will get there in time, but at the moment I'm still studying how to fly, basically, and how to use the right instruments at the right time. Getting there slowly, but I'm having a lot of fun along the way. Okay, I'm amazed that this engine's now working properly. This weather engine, it's so much better than the default. It's great. Okay, we're at 7,800. We're still climbing up to, we'll be cruising at 15,000. Okay, sorry about that. I just need to disappear for a little while, and now I'm back. Okay. Well, we're still climbing. Currently at 9,106. 15,000 is our target. Oh yeah, I need to get that put that flight check away. I try to master that because I just can't put it back. I'm doing something wrong. Oh, there you go. I don't believe it. That was a fluke. I didn't mean to do it, but it ended up going back in there. Well, I'm not going to try to get it out again because it was it's quite difficult to put back. It must be a little bit of a knack to that. Well, anyway, there's a flight. The flight check pre-checks are in that in that folder there. So it just sits in there like that. I like that. So we're on the east coast of England. And we're making good progress. I'm really pleased that the my weather engine is now working properly. It wasn't working before, but I like that. I might just crank it up a little bit and see what happens. Go to settings. We go to full. Let's go to maximum. Post-processing, I don't like that too much. We'll get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, I like that compared to the default. Currently it's on real weather, which it updates every 15 minutes. And I actually looked at the weather over Germany, and it looked pretty bad, but it looks like it's clearing up. It's not as thick as it was when I saw it on the charts. So we might get a good landing. I think it's going to be quite. It's going to be in the late evening, by the time we get there. We've got currently 309 nautical miles to go, or thereabouts. No, we haven't. We've got a bit more than that. 39 on top of that. That's a flight plan. Okay, yeah, got 309, 39 on top of that, 10. So, oh God, we got a little while ago, yeah. Yeah, I like this aircraft. I normally fly with VR, but there's normally a restriction. I'll take you up. We can get out. We get out from the seat, and we can actually walk about now. Which before we couldn't do that. So we can actually open the door now, and we can actually walk through the cabin, which is quite smart. I like this. This is a new feature as well. This galley here, I like the way the sound even changes from the flight deck. We might be able to shut the door as well. Yeah, we can shut the door, which is good. And so, like, we're in the galley. This is a new feature. This wasn't here before. These drinks dispensers, coffee there, and so that looks quite realistic there. I like that. And also, there's been an update on the on the seat. Look at that. That looks great. I like that. Nice seats. I'm not sure if it's just first class or the quality drops a little bit if you go into a standard class. The colour's different for sure. But it's one thing I have noticed though, the TV or the entertainment screen in first class is a lot different than it is in the standard class. The screen is a lot smaller. Yeah, it's a lot smaller. Is it? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it is the same. Yeah, no, maybe it is the same. Oh well. On long journeys, when I won't get everything on autopilot, I fly this in VR, and what I do, if I give myself a better window seat, maybe by the engine, I've got a program that I can actually insert into the flight, and I can play a movie. And so that's what I do normally. If I want to watch a movie and fly at the same time, I can watch the movie as well. So there you go, you can look out the window. So that's a window view, and so yeah. So what I do on long journeys, and I've got everything on autopilot. We've got a screen in front of us, and what I do, I insert a program that I can actually watch a movie. So I can actually what I do, I sit down, I watch a movie in VR while I'm flying to my destination, and so you know I could watch a sci-fi movie. And I can sit down and watch it, and then once I've finished the watching the movie, I go back to my cockpit, look how far I've got to go, and then 9 times out of 10, depending on the distance, I'm pretty much descending down onto the approach on my target airport, which is on long journeys. Even though I like flying, it's nice to have some time out and watch a movie. It's a good program, and also watching it in VR, it's like you're there. It really does feel like you're actually a passenger on a flight, watching the entertainment with that program, and I actually fit it right where the screen is in the chair. And it's so immersive. You really do feel that you're actually in the aircraft. It's great. So we're coming out. I see some land there in the distance. What's that sign? I bet that be my altitude pressure. Let's turn that up. I forgot about that. Let's get that up to 10,000. Higher than that. I forgot about that. Don't you just love these alarm bells? That should go away, hopefully. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it is. Oh, that happened to me once. I didn't know what that alarm was, but I realise now it's the cabin pressure. Actually, I've forgotten to get them back into the nav. Right. There's so much to remember and learn with this with flight sim. It's that's why I like flying so much, because it's the complex of flying is quite challenging, and I like to learn as much as I possibly can. And I think I've learned a lot in a short time that I've been flying. It's like with air traffic control. I haven't gone through those procedures. I like to get myself more disciplined and go through the correct procedures of pre-flight, which it takes a long time to go through all of those procedures. But I think it'd be a lot of fun to do all of that before you get into any type of going down the runway and taking off. And so it's all baby steps for me. But I'm enjoying it an awful lot, and especially these long flights, because it can give you some time to go over some bits and pieces that I'm starting to sort of tease myself into. I'm trying to get more disciplined and not rush too much and get too involved in wanting to fly. It's all of the in-betweens that I'm trying to get that discipline happening, and then you just enjoy it an awful lot more. Look at that ground. I love that cloud cover. The sun just the glycerin off on top of them cloud covers. I love that. That looks great. It's just coming up to 10 to 6 in the evening, so it's going to be quite it's going to be a lot darker. I love night landings. You've got the lights and everything. I love that. Okay. I've done something wrong with the I mentioned about the charts, but for some reason my PDF file only gave me 1 page. I don't know why it's just given me 1 page, but the page that I really needed was the 6th page, or the 7th, one of the two, which gave me the flight plan that I needed to put into my FMC. I've done this purely through guesswork, hence why there's nothing in between. I haven't bridged from where we're at to where we've got to go. So I know I've done something wrong there, but if I open up the range where we're at the moment, 40, that's 40 miles, so we get up to about 160, if I could get that right. 160. Okay, look, it's just coming in at 160 there. Okay. So and that's our first destination that I've poked in on my FMC. You can see there on the right there. Just get this out of the way with it. It's 251 nautical miles. That's from where we're at to up here. There. That's my first destination, which will direct me to the airport. And these ones in between are the ferry routes that I'll get to before we go to the next page. 10 nautical miles, 6 nautical miles, 4, 4 and 4. We go down again, and these very small distances there until we get to runway 08 right, and that will be our landing point there. And we'll be making our descent at 5,000 down to 3,000, then down to 1,330. And I basically plotted this in through guesswork, and I've obviously done something wrong there, because I haven't. Is this bridge? It's not there. There should be a bridge from where I am here to there. And it's because this PDF file only gave me 1 page. It's not. That's it. it should be at least 21 pages of information that a lot of it is not required, but what I have at the moment is just the fuel for the distance that I'll be travelling and the fuel weights, and that's all I've got. So I had to well, I didn't have to. I could have redone and find out why it didn't go in that into that file, but I thought, look, for the sake of it, I'll just do a bit of guesswork. And this is only a test stream, so I'll find out why that hasn't gone in, because I've done flights before from the sim brief, and I haven't had a problem. So I've done something wrong there. Where are we? 14,000 feet. We're coming up to 15,000. Yeah, it's 1,000 to go. 15,000 feet. And you can mention to the crew that I'm leveling off. This is my favourite time of the day. Actually, the colour of the sky is beautiful. I think that looks absolutely beautiful as the sun's setting in the background there. That looks great. Just look at the map. Okay. So heading it's almost direct. With the FMC, no, sorry, with the sim brief, it took me to France, on the northern part of Paris. I think it was going through Hungary a little bit as well, until then we went northern from Hungary. But this is more of a direct route, and it's just purely because of guesswork. I didn't know the correct waypoints. But we're getting there. So I'm going to light up the cabin. Which is already lit up. Yeah. Might do a little bit of external view. So just going to put that away a little bit. I just want to explain the new update is amazing. They've, if you looked at the particle with the jet stream, it just blurs out because they've just made an excellent job with that. It looks so realistic. See that? Nice touch. Yes, the new update. There was a lot of complaints about everyone was having a big hit on frame rates, and it did at first. I got a double hit. It was slowed down. I think I was running about 20 frames per second, which is okay, but it was quite noticeable. But for some known reason, there must have been a quick fix, because I don't have a problem with drop of frame rates at all. Sometimes in VR I do, depending on what airport. I mean, if I'm flying around London, JFK, big dense places, that I mean, it does take a little bit of a hit on the frame rates, but not as much to really get annoyed about it, because I mean, sometimes it's just nice to fly into to JFK. You just need to expect that the frame rate's going to be a little bit slower, especially in VR, because VR takes an awful lot of resource from your graphics card. But I've done a lot of overclocking and some programs, and did a lot of work with the core, which has helped an awful lot. There's a lot of nice tutorials on YouTube that can help you get the maximum out of your PC. I think I've been studying this 737 for a little while now, but I also like flying the 767-300R, which just recently been updated. But for some reason, that particular aircraft, I get a big hit on my frame rates for some reason. It's not for some reason it isn't as smooth as this Zibo that I'm flying at the moment. This is like it's like buttery smooth. Not a problem at all. I'm just amazed on how much work they've done with this aircraft, and it's free. You know, there's a lot of aircraft that you can know the payware. Zibo is just so much better in some respects for some of the payware. There's only one thing about this particular with Zibo. I can't use my my handling crew. It doesn't work. It just crashes all the time, because I don't think you can actually open the external doors with Zibo at the moment, and I think that's probably why my handling crew doesn't work, because when the actual stairwells go into the side of the doors automatically open with most of the payware aircraft, but the doors doesn't open with Zibo at the moment, so I think that's probably why it crashes. So we're getting a bit dark now. It gets quite exciting actually, because I'm actually coming up to getting ready to to land. And I like that, because I take the auto off, and then it really gets exciting, because obviously you're trying to land the aircraft the safest possible way that you can. I normally take it off autopilot, as you know, I wait till as long as possible, and then I just switch off the autopilot, and I guide the aircraft down to the runway. That's got dark very quickly. This is one of my longest flights. I think the longest flight I ever flew was Melbourne to Brisbane. That was quite a long time to get through that. But the beauty about flying in Europe, around Europe, is that you've got a lot of variety of airports at very close distance from each other. Well, relatively close, and that adds to the excitement, really. Where Australia, there's a few exciting airports to take off and to land, but there's an awful long time before you get there, which is cool. That's why I decided to get myself into the passenger seat and watch a movie. Which is probably not the done thing to do as a pilot, I guess. I mean, I could actually put the video actually in the on the flight deck here. I could do that. I was thinking about one day to have a long distance flight from, I don't know, London Heathrow to JFK, and then go to bed, wake up in the morning, and land. Our fuel, I've put an awful lot of fuel in there. I think I've put it in for at least for 3 hours every time, but the centre's almost out. But we've got plenty in the left and right. It's getting dark now. There's a light switch up here somewhere. There we go. Okay. Actually, I need to find out, do the pilots have their internal flight deck lights on when they land, or do they have them off or dim? Because I prefer to have the lights off, and I think it's just because of the viewing aspect of it. Because what I do, I normally have the floodlights on full and all that, so you can actually tone down the panel and everything, and that's enough for me, as long as I can actually read the instruments. I think when I've got the actual cockpit, the flight deck lights on, it just, I don't know, it just takes my mind. I just constantly know that it's light, and I prefer to actually look in front of me and get myself ready for the landing. It's like having your lights on in the car, I guess. When you're driving and you've got the lights on in the car, it's just, it's I don't know. It's the reflection of everything, isn't it? It just reflects back off the screen. Which is, incidentally, I've taken that off. There's no reflection on the window screen. I've taken that off because that can, your eyes can constantly look at the reflection. It's like a smudge on your glasses or something. I'm at 15,000 feet. We've leveled off. What I'm going to do, when we get to 160 miles, I will drop down to 5,000. So we'll be getting very close to the airport and be starting making our descent. So you might just crank up some more speed here. We'll get to 300 if we can. $295. In fact, I might just take it down to 10,000, but we go down slowly. So the time I get there to 160, it would be about 10 anyway. I just do things a little bit slowly, so we actually are descending, but we do it slowly. So we get it down to 10,000. A bit closer there. But we go down slowly, minus 50. Yeah, minus 50. So it will descend to 10,000. So you find that you see that it is now descending at a very slow pace. See, it's getting dark now. But if I turn the lights off, the cabin lights off. There you go. See, everything just lights up like a Christmas tree. And I quite like that. I prefer that than have the lights on. Especially in VR. See, but I can read all the instruments. I know where everything is, and it's not like I'm blind. It's not that dark. But yeah, I will find that out. Do pilots have their flight deck lights on when they land at night, or do they have them off? I'd like to know that. Actually, this map is a little bit slow with the default map. It's I must admit, the default map isn't as detailed as the Zebo map you got there. Look, we're trying to catch up. Maybe if I zoom out a little bit, it may not have to work so hard to get what's in front of us or what we're flying over. If we go to the default map, it's all there, but without the detailed like the roadways. It's almost like an ordnance survey map, the one that the Zebo has implemented there. Which is nice though, I like that. So these are the aircraft that's in the vicinity. We've got there, it looks like an MD-82. We do, it's an MD-82. Altitude is at 38,980. Traveling at 253 knots. So that's the aircraft there. Cool. Also, we have a radar, world traffic radar, which tells you what aircraft is in the vicinity. You've got 80 miles out, 40, 20 and 10 mile radius range. And so we plot in the airport, and we'll plot in the airport that we'll be going to, which will be the Berlin EDDT. We select the airport. Now, there's nothing showing. I think it needs to. It will generate. There'll certainly be aircraft there when we get to the airport. I'll come back to that in about 5 minutes. There should be aircraft flying around the airport. It just hasn't been generated. It hasn't generated as yet. But there certainly was at Gatwick, because it's best to wait for about 10-15 minutes before departure. I like to see the planes departing and arriving at the airport that you're leaving from. It just gives that extra realism. Oh, incidentally, if we go to that, we might not be able to see it. What we've got here, we've got Sinston L5. We might see that in the distance. Whereabouts is that? It's just on our 11 o'clock. You might just see the lights. That's not it, is it? No. It may be down low. It's only a small two-seater prop plane. But the MD-80, you would have seen. We would have seen that. It's gone now. There's an airport down below. What airport's that? Unstorf. Currently it's 34 miles from here in front of us. Is that 34 miles? Doesn't say, they didn't look like 34 miles. No. Oh, it is. We should be able to see that. It's there somewhere. That doesn't look like 34 miles from... Oh, I think I found it. I think I found the aircraft. I saw it flickering there in the distance, or is it just a bright star? Yeah, that's it. To see it flicking there. See the lights flicking away there. What altitude was that? Yeah, 34,000. Yep, that'd be about right. So where we were 14. So yeah, it is above us. There it is. Okay. Gee, we're getting close. 83 miles. We're getting close. In fact, I'm going to drop our altitude quite quickly now. I'll drop it down to 5,000. Quite rapid. I think we go to 450. So we get down to 5,000, then the pressure's off. And so you'll see that the altitude now is dropping quite dramatically because I've increased the descent quite quickly. Because we've only got 77 miles to go, so I'm going to get ready to get ready for, well, a landing procedure really. I like to be around about 2,500. Then the pressure's off. You're not really going to be concentrating too much on your altitude because you're pretty much getting close. Okay, let's just drop this this range to, where were we at? 80. Caution light, which is a lot of there's a lot of warnings there. Oh dear, we've got electric, APU, overheat, fuel, RS, and flight control. Again, all of that I need to study so I can actually eliminate all of those warning lights, which I'm doing slowly, because I like to have some flying time, and I like to sort of do things slowly, so that I just concentrate on one item until I've sort of mastered that, then I'll go on to another item, and so on. I might just reduce that, make that a little bit higher. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that is taking some load on my PC. So if I reduce it, it takes the load off my PC. Not that it's bothering my PC at all. It's running quite smoothly actually. I'm quite impressed on the way that this it's running on the on my screen compared to VR. VR, the clarity is not there. It's a lot sharper, and flying on my monitor. But it is worth flying with VR because you're actually in the flight deck. Okay. Yeah, so that's a lot better with the map being a little bit reduced. We pulled out from that. Okay, 55 miles to go. I should have actually, I think I should have descended a lot earlier. think I'll just tell everyone that we're going to descend, making a descent speech. And almost getting, this is I think this is more the exciting part of the of flying. I think is the landing. I love the landing. It's so much challenging. It takes a lot of work really to work things out. I've seen guys do like auto landing, and I can't wait till I get to the point where I start studying that. So what I've been doing, what I normally do is it's 40, so we may soon get the airport up on the map. So what do we need to look for? EDDT on that flight plan. We're not quite there yet. So what I normally do is, like, if that was EDDT, I highlight it. It comes up in yellow, and then it at least gives me a bit of security that we're going in the right direction. And if we're not, for some reason I've done the FMC wrong, at least I can go into manual and go to the airport that I basically wanted in the in my first in the first place. My settings is on high. I probably could have gone a little bit higher than that, flying on the on my monitor, but if I'm flying in VR on the extreme settings, it does actually sort of give me a big drop on my frame rate, so I don't go any higher than that. Actually, I think we're on the same flight plan as that 5L. So I actually want to be dropping a lot quicker than that. 40. No, we might be okay. Oh, I don't know if I do prefer that now. I think I might have the lights on. Okay, that's about 30 miles. Let's look at our flight plan here. Right, so it's asked us to drop as well. Drop to 10, 5,000 there, and where we're dropping down to 4,900. 26 miles. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and it gets a bit messy around the airport there. I'll wait till we get close to that, and I can bring that up a little bit closer to find out what my course is going to be. I've set it at 26 runway 26 right. all well and good. Sometimes I lose trust in this, and I just go manually. I just don't. It can take me so close to the airport. I just thought, is this gonna smash me into something or what? But I think this will be my third that I've actually trusted the flight plan, and the last two worked out brilliantly. It just set me in line with the runway, and I just took it off autopilot, and I solo manual took it onto the runway manually, and it worked well. Is that right? Only 32 minutes. That can't be right. Was it 5 o'clock we took off? And now it's come up to 6:30. Hour and a half. I just said 2. I said 2 hours, didn't I? Maybe it might be 2 hours. Well, obviously, depending on the speed will take a lot out of that. I've upped the speed a little bit. I think I'll be slowing down as soon as we get to our first waypoint there. I'll slow it down to about 220, and then I'll be reducing my altitude and speed as well. Actually, I forgot to mention. Have I mentioned the guys that we're going to descend? I think I have. And that comes out very quiet. It should be a lot louder than that. But mind you, I wonder if it was actually in the back there, if we would actually hear it a lot louder. Maybe it's quiet because we're in the flight deck, and we're just getting that little bit of subtle noise that the captain has said that we're going to make our descent. That probably is. That's probably what it is. Okay. Just drop that range again. What are we up to? 40. Okay, we're getting close now, and you will see that the aircraft will adjust its position. It will go onto that course on auto. We're almost there. Still descending. I wanted to descend a little bit quicker than that. Yeah, I like to get myself at a reasonable altitude when I'm getting close to an airport. There's nothing worse than being too high, and then you're working hard to try to get the right altitude to land. So yeah, that was a subtle move, but you see that the aircraft has made its adjustment to get online with the flight plan. So we've got 40 or thereabouts, 38, 37 miles to go before we make our next point there, which is 35 miles. And really, I guess in a way, I should have plotted in the descent altitudes there and there. I think 5,000 there is far too high. But how long have we got to go after that? After that, there's a few. We've got 6, 4, 4, and 4, and 4. There's a few there. See, I haven't done the descent altitudes there. I've got 5,000 there, descending to 3,000 there, and we're going down to. Oh, so maybe I have. There's plenty of time for manoeuvre there, so it's all right. But at least we're coming down. I might actually set it the way they've asked us to. I guess it's set it at 5,000. Let's try to do things properly. See how we go at 5,000. If I get a little bit too worried, I'll drop it a lot lower than that. Okay, can we look at the can we find this airport? Not yet. What we're looking for, EDDT. It's not in sight as yet. Looks like this this is on the same flight plan as ourselves. I wonder if it's going to land. We may have to go into a stack, possibly. We'll see. No, it's turning. But mind you, so are we. We'll be turning the same as well. Maybe we may be on the same flight plan. But we're getting close. I'm getting used to flying on my monitor. I'm only going to be flying on my monitor when I'm doing the streaming. It's a lot different than flying in VR. Especially when I've got to contend with my outside surroundings, actually where I'm sitting. I can look around and I'm not actually in the aircraft, but in VR you are actually in the aircraft, and it just adds to the realism. You feel that you are actually in the aircraft. Like I say, I've got the objects is on high, but when you get it on extreme, there'll be a lot more lights outside. But I think it's enough. You know that you're in a dense population area. You know, a lot different from Australia. You can be flying through Australia, and you don't get. You might get one or two lights every now and again when you're flying the internal part of Australia. But it's certainly a welcoming sight when you actually flying, say, to Brisbane, and then you see Brisbane and all its lights come up in the distance. It's quite nice. You know you're getting close. We're getting some chop. You're getting some chop. Might get everyone to get their seat belts on. Turbulence warning. That's quite turbulent. Where did that come from? Okay, I'm going to just drop my speed. 220. That is choppy. Hopefully we get below that. It might be a little bit better, but where are we at the moment? 5,500. Right, dropping the speed. That's turbulent. That's amazing. I've had crystal clear, clean flight, and now we're getting into some turbulence. Oh, we're at 5,000 now. Okay. Oh, I mean, we're dropping out altitude soon, but look at that. That's a lot going on there. Look at that, it's going overtime. That's my tune's doing overtime. There's a lot of turbulence going on there. Again, the aircraft will, you'll see the aircraft would deviate from its course that it's on now. It would change its course on auto. There you go. We're starting now, just starting our turn now. $5,000. Oh, what do I do? And this is when I get a little bit worried now. I think because we're getting so close to the airport. But there is certainly a lot going on there with that flight plan to get me onto the runway. We're buffeting around like a Bronco. I hope that improves when we when we drop down to a lower altitude, because I've never actually flown. Sorry, landed in such turbulence. That's doing everything, isn't it? Jeez, that is doing a lot of. Well, that's going to be challenging, that's for sure. Well, I suggest I might keep that fasten the seatbelts on for the whole of the duration of this flight now. EDDT, and that aircraft is on the same flight plan as ourselves. I can see it. We're following it. See, we're going to turn exactly where that plane is as well. So we're going to be, if that lands at the same airport, we may need to stack, go into a stack. It's not there yet. Gee, where's that? That is a. It's like we're going around the airport. Maybe it's because I chose the 26 right. Maybe if I took 26 left. I might have had a little bit less complicated flight one there, flight plan. So we've got DT 556. DT 556, then 55, 55, 55, 54, 54, 53, 53, 52, 52. And then we got, there we go, R08R. Okay. Plane's turned left now. Actually, we've got a plane behind us, and we've got a plane in front of us. It's turned. Oh, it's turned left. I still can't find the airport that we need to land at. Found it. There it is. There it is. That's the airport we need. That plane is landing straight into it now. It's on final. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to. I'm going to ditch the flight plan, and I'm going to go. I'm going to probably head towards where this plane is now, and I may take it onto manual landing. Then doing all of this, I think, because there's a lot involved. There's a lot involved, and so I've been flying for a little while now, 2 hours. It's time to land. And there's the airport there to the left, and there's the plane that we saw on the map coming into land. Okay, here we go. So just going to tell everyone to prepare for landing. Floodlights on. Maybe a little bit too mature yet. Let's not get too hasty. Let's wait till we get about there, and then we'll turn into it. Gee, it's turbulent. Still on auto. Let's see, is the airport to our left. You see the two runways there in the distance. I'll just zoom into that. There you go. There you go. And I'm probably going to land on the left one of the two. I'm going to take it off auto now. There we go. Okay, let's try to land this thing. Let's just bring ourselves around. I have not landed in such turbulent weather. I really haven't. I've overshot the wrong way already. Now we need to reduce the speed. We're currently running at 170. We're actually climbing, we're hitting the speed a little bit. To drop that down. That's better. Get a bit of air brake. Just need to drop the speed a little bit. I'd like to get around about the 150, 145 mark. Landing gear down. And we do have another aircraft. Is that aircraft going to land the same runway as ourselves or what? A little high. Our speed will increase a little bit because I'm descending quite quickly. So, but when I get myself a bit leveled off, it will drop. I've got my got half air brake on. I'm getting the flaps down a little bit. Flaps 15. Get ourselves down to 1,000 and I'll level off. Well, the turbulence has gone. That's great. I thought that was going to be a battle trying to get this thing down, but the turbulence have stopped, which is great. I'm a little bit offline, but I'm still going to take the left side, left one way. Speed's a bit slow. Just pick up that speed a bit.
1,000 feet, stabilized, missed approach altitude set.
Air brake, reverse thrust, brakes on.
80 knots.
Flaps up, brakes off, reverse thrust off. How we landed? Not too bad. Okay, need to find our gate now. Well, there you have it. That wasn't bad actually. Notice I wasn't talking whilst I was on final. The concentration was quite intense. I think we need to cross this runway. I'm just going to stop here for a second just to find out if the traffic is clear. We're good to go. Well, I landed with the flight deck lights on. It wasn't too bad actually. I thought it was going to aggravate me, knowing. Well, it's difficult to explain really, but it was like if I don't have the lights on, I just seem to be able to concentrate a lot better. But it worked out well. Again, I haven't set up my auto gate, so I'm just going to park into a gate that's free, which look at Air Berlin, Air Berlin, Air Berlin. I bet they have priority. Okay, so let's probably get away from Air Berlin because they won't let me to land park in anywhere that's Air Berlin. I'll park over here, I think. There is British Airways. This has got to be our berth around here. There's a British Airways there in front of us. Okay. I missed that one. I'll take the next one. Get this gate closer to the outdoors here. Oh, let's not overshoot it. Okay, we've made it. Cool. Well, I enjoyed that. I thought the landing was going to be very challenging with that turbulence, but it was a lot higher, and I didn't have to worry about it. Let's just get out of here.